Here we go. We got it underway. We got Fred and Michael on the CT side. And we got facing up against them on the other side, returning champion Smeagol, Daniel, and Tim. Running right down the middle off the rip. Flash and full blind, they're out. Fred hears them. Dan's lit. Oh, and Mike goes down. Very close to getting the 1-for-1 trade there in the initial fight, but just can't clutch it up. On the T's take, round 1. Chief Seagulls asks, hacking? The CTs are AFK and spawn. I'm going to talk a little eco here. Buying nades last minute. The T's are out on site before the CTs are even looking at it. You have to think they kind of just lost the round for themselves by being so slow out of spawn there. Fred getting a little damage. He's confirmed both of them. On site. Dan's smoke pops in time to save his life, and now they've segmented them off. The CTs have to come out of heaven if they want to be able to see where they're going. Oh my god, the CTs get the double kill. Now they just need to get the bomb. And they've won it. Take this back 1-1. Both picking up a kill. Yeehaw, baby. Ba, 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 da. Alright, now the T's are in a little bit of a pickle because they did buy. They have no loss bonus and no cash. We're doing eco, pistols, no armor. Both getting deagles. CT's appropriately recognizing this is a free round. Keeping the low eco weapons, buying full util, topping up armor, and they're just going to look to fight some of these rifles against the pistols. Fred is scroll wheeling grenades. Mike gets a kill with the sidearm. I didn't even realize. Pulls out the deagle after blowing a full MP7 mag. Tosses 25 bullets onto the ground. Tim is down. We've got Dan going for the long flank. And he comes out. Oh, just in time to get famused by Fred. 2-1 CT.
Wow.
Mike upgrading his gun. Fred choosing not to, sticking with the Fumsi. T's, of course, going to have a close to full eco here. Tim opting not to buy all of his nades. Dan spending all his money, not being able to buy full nades. Dan comes out a bit ahead in the initial engagement there. And they're immediately going to rotate to the other side of the map. Dan already recognizing that Mike and Fred kind of get stuck when they make contact. They're sitting on these long angles after somebody has moved for a long time. Dan steps out. Headshots Fred. Now Mike's solo dolo 1v2, 30 HP left. Coming out low instead of through the smoke in heaven. Doesn't see anybody on site, and he might just be thinking to save here. He's going to head straight down long into the office, background towards T. Now the question is, do the T's recognize that this is what's going on here? Or do they sit on the bomb? Oh, he's changed his mind. Plays it slow all the way out where they can't hear him, and then immediately opens the door up mid and runs through and dies. Unfortunate. Unfortunate. With the T's tied up 2-2, we've got a game on our hands. Dan looking hot, 5-2. Tim 0-2, 180 damage so far. Have to hope he starts contributing with his bullets a little bit. Got some early trades at the top. Dan doing a lot of damage with that frag grenade. Double smokes on site now from the T's. I'm going to use this advantage to push up, plant the bomb immediately. Volley in heaven, slowing down Fred from peeking out. Didn't actually commit to the plant. Fred runs out in the open with a frag grenade, does a bit of tick damage onto Tim, but dies for it. And now Mike is 30 HP, 1v2 again. Just the MP7 that he loves. Somebody's got to get him a stat track, one of those things. Yeah. At that range, you're just always going to favor the AK, I think, unfortunately. He's take it 3-2. Hey, Mr. Cat. Full save from the CTs here. Mike does use 1 of 2 grenades. I think these are just going to push right through it, unfortunately. If Tim can figure out where he is. There we go. Locking out. Planting next to bench. Default plant spot yet again. Fred, meanwhile, has walked into the smoke, taken his knife out. Knifing a wall. Knifes a wall. Tim sees him. Kills his ass, bro. Oh man, that was crazy. Tim max on cash. Dan pretty darn close as well. Fred forcing a rifle and armor. Mike, classic MP7. He doesn't need to buy a rifle. Oof. My Dan just domes him. Makes contact, accelerates. Here's Fred fall on the dumpster. Fred gets some shots on Tim, but then decides to strafe off the dumpster as soon as I switch. And we just get to see him die. He's have not dropped around since they got AKs here. We'll have to see if the CTs can manipulate their economy into getting another gun round. But I think they might be out of time here if they keep forcing like this. 2 MP7s. Some cash on Mike, left over 1,400 bucks. CTs are playing very deep now. They're just hidden in the back alley there. Not even peeking out heaven. And the T's are spooked. They don't know where anybody is, so they don't want to be too aggressive. Oh. Oh, Dan falls to the MP7 from heaven. And so does Tim. Mike picking up a double kill there. As they take it back, the force that finally comes through for the CTs. Mike's going to grab the Season 1 AK trophy from Dan. DGLS commemorative skin. And they're going to spray those AKs into the air. 3-5. How does the MP7 do that, Dan asks in chat. As he buys an op, we're going to see a full rebuy immediately from the T's here. Let's see if Dan's going to take this off and try and look for the heaven pick immediately. Or he's going to... Yeah. He just runs out. But again, the CT's playing further back. They don't even care about taking these fights. They want the T's to throw their util. They want to hang out and not get picked early. And the T's kind of don't know what to do about it. They're trying to get their util into heaven. Trying to smoke off the cross, but it doesn't seem like there's any sort of concerted plan. Him with a new plant spot, which I really like actually, really close to doors. He's more concerned about the flank now. Dan reveals his location at the rock as he tries to kill Mike up in heaven. Nobody dies. Crazy volley. Sees the flash come out on his screen. Fred, oh! Dan saves Tim's life, Fred was about to get him in the side of the head there. And both T's very lit as Mike tries once again to 1v2. Gets one. But I think time's out here as Dan takes off. And so ultimately the T's turn the CT's patience back against them. That was a cool round. That was fun. Now Fred taking a minute to buy here again. Gets an AUG this time. Half util. No flashes. Mike with the M4, and Dan switches it up, goes long for the quick peek, and gets him in the side. They're not even ready for that angle. That's brutal. And now Fred trying to re-aggress where they last made contact, but the T's are long gone. They're both on the other side of the map throwing nades. They're planting the bomb. And now Fred might be, you'd say, well off to think about saving. It's the last round of the half, I think. So, I can't count. One more round. But Fred does die to a smoke spam from Tim. More speed out of the T's, going up to heaven quick. Ooh, crazy fight as the CT's push long early. Fred gets picked. Mike does some damage with the MP7. Mike somehow drops the perfect smoke to block Dan off of his angle, but then doesn't actually know about that and rotates all the way around the map. He's gonna run right into the op here. Oh my god! He's doing it. Kills Dan with a crispy headshot. Ooh, almost gets Tim too, but AK just does too much damage. He was too lit already. And Mike with enough money to buy Fred a rifle here if he wanted to. Instead, Fred buying the AK and Mike taking $2,500 into halftime with him. Dan and Tim both full re-up immediately. AKs, full armor, full nades. And they're just going to sprint out onto site through mid, through the door. Dan kills Fred. Mike looking to flank here. Wrapping around, and Dan has successfully sniffed this out. Clears all the way out through the alley, through the back alley. Can't make the jump up the dumpster, but he's back in heaven, ready to fight by the time Mike comes out through the door. Tim hears him, calls it out, and Dan gets the one-tap kill. 9-3 half for the shirts. Dan and Tim up. Dan on a bit of a heater, 13-4. We'll have to see if the Skins can turn it around here for themselves on the T half. Fred running through the door, Mike running out the rock. We got shots traded, but no significant damage. Fred takes a ton of damage for nothing. And Tim comes and cleans him up. Dan and Tim holding site strong. Both swing Mike, and there's not much you can do there. They take the first round of the second half. I think that's a 100% pistol rate for them this game as well. And they convert that one immediately into rifles. Whereas, you'll never guess that the T's have MP7s. Mike's got a tiny bit of utility. Smoke and another flash. Dan in heaven with the M4. Tim playing on site. Dan takes out Mike. And Tim takes out Fred. Technically a team ace, but it's only 2, so it doesn't really feel equivalent, you know? The immediate MP7 buyback from the T's. My God, they'll make it work. They're gonna go out long fast. They do. Oh, Fred's flashed. Fred's flashed. He doesn't hear himself burning. Dies to the molly. Mike gets Tim coming out of the smoke though, and we've got a 1v1 on our hands here. Bit of a trade. As Dan runs away, he says, "I'll give you the space. You can have the site." As Mike walks around the battlefield and collects scraps off the bodies, picks up another smoke. Dan has flanked through the T Plaza back into long, and he's looking to just circle all the way around Mike here. We'll have to see if Mike even thinks this is coming, or if he's going to throw a smoke, perhaps plant inside of it. He's got to make a decision soon, or Dan's going to walk up on him. Ooh. He swings into Dan. Dan gets the kill. The exact range he was looking for with that slow flank there. And Dan takes it 12-3. Final round here, perhaps. Let's see if the T's get anything else.
I'm in my car, but since it's almost the end of the game, it seems like I should just watch the replay.
Good. You're the second person in the car here. Ooh, Dan gets Fred.
Alright, goodbye.
And Mike is 1v2 yet again here. An MP7 and a dream. He's walking towards them. They're both looking at him with the X-ray here. Gets one, doesn't know where the second is. Drops 20 bullets on the ground. Flash? Looks himself off site. Dan hits him through the box so he doesn't die. I think that's the only saving grace Mike gets there. He was about to just show his entire back to Dan in that position. But instead, he gets out with 49 health, puts smoke on the site, plants the bomb. Pretty good start to a clutch, don't you think? Dan has his own smoke, throws it way too far. If that wasn't exactly where Mike was, he'd be screwed. Taps the bomb, gets sprayed. Oh, my 5.7 does not do that. That's going to be it. 13-3. Dan going 17-4, 1,800 damage. Putting up a barn burner today.